G'day and welcome back to Darkzilla Gaming and our Let's Play series here on Willamina Forest. Alright, so we have been very busy. We've a couple of days have gone by, we've had some contractors in helping us out getting some work done. And what we're going to do first off is go and have a look at exactly what we've gotten done. So we're going to jump in the MB track here and go for a bit of a ride. First thing we're going to do is we're going to head down to this our flat land area where we're going to set up all of our farming area, as in all of our equipment and buildings and stuff like that, apart from the farmhouse and a couple of sheds we've got. And we're going to see what we've got going in there. Now we've got some of our fields are sown, ready to go. This field over here to our right we do need to sow, and we're going to do that today actually. We're going to grab the class Xerion and we're going to grab the big Great Plains cedar and we're going to head down there and get that planted with some canola, I think, most likely, and get that underway. Because we are in our 18th day of spring, we're in late spring now, so things are moving along. Ground temperatures are starting to come up, so it's time to get all that sort of stuff going as the branches of that tree take us out. Alright, so here we are. Now, what have we done? Done a little bit of road work here. We put a bit of asphalt down. We've also got our silo in. So we've got a nice small silo, 500,000 litre capacity, I think that is. But that's going to serve us initially. So that's in place, ready to go. And we also have the storage shelves over here for all our bulk, liquid and solid supplies. So for our lime, fertiliser, liquid fertiliser, all that sort of stuff is sitting there. And we've got a nice new Manitow forklift as well to deal with all that. So that's all well and good. Alright, that's that area done. The other bit of work we did as well is, as we go through the dark patch of the forest, is we had some contractors come through. They've widened out our path and actually made it a bit more of a road, although it's not actually sealed and really smooth. It's definitely a lot smoother and wider than what it was. And they also just sort of took a bit of the rise out up here at the top to make it a little bit easier for transgressing our way through here. So that makes it, especially when we're going to have a big load on in one of our trailers or anything like that, we won't have as big a rise to go off. Now this field over here to our left has also got to be seeded. As you can see, it's got the lime sitting on top at the moment. So it too is ready to be seeded as well. We might hang on that one a little bit. We might put sunflowers or corn into that one, most likely sunflowers I think, but again we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I may well just change my mind and put wheat or something in there initially as the first crop. We'll see how we go. So we've widened the road all the way down through here, through the bridge, and this is where we've got a lot of other work done. Now we came over here and we cleared a lot of forest. As you can see, there's a lot of forest already cleared. And we did that because we needed to put down our pens. Now the first pen we've got down is our sheep pen, and this, as you can see, is coming up on our right hand side. So as you can see here, we've done a lot of road work through, or ground work through here. It cost us an arm and a leg. It cost us about $700,000. So with all the money we made from chopping down the trees and selling off the wood chips, we used that to invest on repurposing this area of land. Now there was a lot, as you can see, a lot of soil cut out, and it cost us a small fortune. But in the end, we were able to get our big sheep pasture fitted out, and that is now in place, as you can see here. So that is marvellous. So we're all ready for our sheep now, and we also then set this field up here. So we've got a little field up here on the side of this hill. What we'll probably do, we'll probably make that our permanent grass field, and that will support the sheep here for that period of time. Now the road goes back up through there further. We haven't done any further work. The widening of it stops basically there, and that goes up through forward a little bit more north to land we don't own, but that's okay. Alright, so there you have it. That's what we've done. So there's our sheep pasture show. So soon we should be able to get some sheep and get them up and running. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to invest in the sheep once we've got our first cut of grass in. Whether it be grass or hay, just so we've actually got enough feed there to support them when we do get them in. So that is the plan. Alright, so that's it. That's what we've been doing off camera for the last couple of days. Spending all of our money. So like I said, we made just shy of $1 million with the chopping down of all the trees and selling off the wood chips and all that sort of stuff, and then purchasing the silo, which was another 250 or 300,000. We're back down to $300,000. That's okay. So we should be okay. That's got most of our infrastructure done. We're in a position now where I think we're pretty much ready to just go ahead and all that. The one thing we do need to buy is a combine harvester. We haven't got a combine harvester for when the fields do come in. If we haven't got enough money to actually purchase one at that point in time, we may either go and chop down some more timber, or we might just lease a combine in the short period for harvesting, but we'll just sort of see where that goes to. Alright, so we're going to head back to the farm now. We're going to grab the Xerion and the cedar, and we're going to head on down and get that field sown. It's a bit dark through here. I could put my headlights on, of course. As you can see, it's much wider through there now, much easier to navigate, which makes it wonderfully easy to get through. And this area here will be built up. We may well be putting a small cow pasture or something in here yet. I haven't decided exactly what we're going to do, but then by the same token I do also need to keep a bit of space there in case we put other facilities in. Oh, actually I'm thinking of a diesel plant of some sort, and also we might have to look at doing some silage, but that's long-term future. We'll worry about that when we actually need to. Here we are, back up on top of the hill to the farm. A lovely view when the sun has just risen. Looking out there over our fields and the forest that we all desiccated and got rid of to build our forest up. But nonetheless, it's a nice view. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to grab the Xerion. That's had a good clean, and it's all ready to go. We'll then grab the Great Plains cedar. Hopefully that has been filled up as I just drag my wheel around across the post, and it will be all ready to go from there. Alright, it is indeed seeded, full of seed. Now, before we do anything and plant the wrong crop, which I have been very, very well known to do, I'm going to grab the canola. What we will do is just check in seasons to make sure that we do have the right ground temperature. We do indeed. So 5 degrees is what we needed for canola. So that's all well and good. So we're going to head on down and get that field seeded. I hope everyone is doing really well. We've been a little bit busy with real life and all that sort of things. We haven't got as much done lately as we wanted to, but we're okay now. And when you're seeing this, it should be imminent that the Class DLC will be available. Some of the Giants preview YouTubers have put out their preview videos of the Class Pack as it was released. Well, the embargo was released from them, and they were able to showcase it over the weekend. So go check out, for instance, Frithgar, a good friend of mine on the channel, and go check out his preview of it. I haven't decided whether we're going to do a full review as of yet. I'm unsure. So if you want to see a full review, let me know in the comments. I'll put my spin on it. I'll tell you what I really think of it. I won't be sort of... I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, basically we'll just let me know if you want me to review it, and I'm more than happy to do so. All right. Now I am going to put the lights on just so I can see what's going on. And off we go. So obviously with the DLC, we'll get the new version of the Xerion, and I say new version, I'm talking as in it'll be a different build of it. This is a build that was converted over from FS17 and works fine, but it'll be interesting to see what the build quality is like of Giants. Giants should always be better. pretty much, and we'll see how that goes. There probably will be a bit of a changing over of some of the equipment. For instance, that Fent will probably end up going, and we'll be going to pretty much all class equipment on this map. I'm an unashamed fan of class, so it just makes some sense. Plus, while it's all new and shiny, we might as well get in and have a look at it, so we can bring in an 800 series, maybe a 900 series, all that sort of stuff. And also on my Fenton Forest farm Let's Play, which is already very largely class with all the tractors and stuff, with the Atlas and the Arions and the Zerions, that will probably get a bit of an upgrade as well. The class 780 combines will be replaced by the 2019 version of the 8000 series Lexion, and things like that. So yeah, that will be the plan. But certainly on here we'll be using class as well. So we'll replace the Fent and probably the MB track with a couple of the class tractors. We'll probably get one of the small Arions to replace the MB, and we'll get one of the Axions to replace the Fent, or maybe even another non-Duxorly blazoned Zerions. Anyway, but we'll be interested to see all that and get a hold of all that equipment. So that will probably be in the episode or two after this one you are seeing now. But that's in the future. What we're going to worry about now is just getting this field done. So it is 6 o'clock in the morning, where we've got up as the got up with the crows, and we're going to hit our straps and get in and get this done as quick as we can. In fact, that reminds me, I didn't change one thing. All right, so this is probably the most scenic of all of our fields, being right along the riverside, and this one will be probably one of the easiest fields we've got to harvest. There's one or two little rises, but other than that, it's generally pretty flat, whereas most of the other fields we've got are on the side of the hill or whatever else, so they will be a bit more of a challenge. But as we saw actually in those other previous videos where we've seeded those fields, this seeder has done a tremendous job of dealing with those rises and falls and all that sort of stuff in the field. So that did better than we expected, and I also would like to see how the combines are going to cope, whichever combine we use. Now, I don't know if we'll necessarily go to a big combine. We may be better suited with one of the smaller ones, whether it be a Case or a Massey Ferguson, something like that, one of the smaller ones, or maybe even one of the smaller class like the Tucano. But yeah, so we'll have to just sort of see how things go. But I don't think the big ones, although their power will be useful, so we'll just have to wait and see. As you can see, this is doing a fantastic job. Hasn't batted an eye yet, and I wouldn't expect it to otherwise. Alright, that's one full lap of the field done now. And it probably should only take, 2 and a bit, because it's quite narrow. So with the width of this seeder, it should cover that space very, very quickly. But it's not as if it's a race. We've got plenty of time. We've got to do this field, then we've got to do the other field, which we showed you heading down into the little township. And we've also got to do the one over near the sheep pasture as well, but that's also got to have some lime spread on it and stuff like that. So we'll get that done as well. That may be in the next episode. I've still got plenty of time before we really need to get it going. Now our grass fields, we've got 2 grass fields up near the farm that we've got going. They won't be far off being ready to harvest, and hopefully we might get 2 harvests out of those fields prior to winter. I'm not going to re-sow them prior to winter, or like after once I get the first cut off. They will stay a grass field until the end of winter, at which point then we will sow them with something else, whether it be wheat or barley or something else like that, for the second year on the farm. But certainly for the first year, we want to build up a good amount of grass and stuff to stockpile for the sheep, so that way we can make sure we can survive winter with all our sheep with enough food stored away. Now, how are we going to deal with the grass and storage? Well, I've got two ideas. I can either store it in the silo, which is a possibility, or I could possibly bale them. I haven't decided 100% as yet what we're going to do. So this is your opportunity. If you want to see us do some bale work, then let us know in the comments. If you would like us just to store it in the silo, then let us know that as well. So whichever is the most popular choice in the comments is the one I'll most likely make note. I've said most likely, because if everyone's actually asking to do wrapped grass bales or stuff like that, well, obviously I'm not going to do wrap because I don't want silage. I just want grass or hay. But yeah, I always hold the right of discretion to not necessarily do what you may suggest in the comments, because that could be quite fearful. But anyway, just let us know. And then also let us know whether you want to see round bales or square bales, because again, most likely we'll be using the class equipment to do so. So that will depend on whether we're going to use the 5600 or whether we use the Roland round baler. So let me know. All right, swing around nice and tight here now, avoiding the tree. So we're coming up to the 12 months since Giants released Farming Simulator 19. We've already been through and done our state of the game of where we think Giants currently has the game. Now, they released their latest patch. I can't remember the number of it now, the other day. Thankfully, for once, I think Giants have released a patch that hasn't broken anything. Certainly nothing that I've seen as yet has been broken, which is good. I don't even think there's been many reports of mods being broken either, which is very good. I was talking to Jimmy J the other day, and I just reminded him just to be careful, because Frithgar's about to transition to a new multiplayer server map, and I was just reminding him that just to be careful, because a lot of the mods might suddenly stop working because of the new patch. But thankfully, it seems that Giants have got their proverbial in one sock, and it seems to have not caused any major issues. Mind you, in saying that, the patch was very minor in regards to what I saw that it was actually dealing with and fixing. So, I mean, who's to know? So, but anyway, little steps. But anyway, yeah, so it's 12 months since we've released the game, and we've covered what we've thought of the game, what we thought of the release, all that sort of stuff. Now, very soon I am going to be finalising and releasing my future of the game video, where we talk about what we want to see in FS21, or whatever they end up calling the next generation of the farming simulator genre that they produce, assuming they're going to produce another version after this. Much akin to what we did also for 17, but we'll sort of see. So for those of you that aren't already aware, on my Discord channel, we do have a Discord there, so pop in, It's a channel there dedicated to that sort of topic, and leave your comments there, and when I'm finalising that off, if there's anything I've missed that you've brought up in the comments, I will try and make sure I add that as well. But certainly, having played cattle and crops a little bit more lately, and I've been back into pure farming, had a bit of a look there, there's still a lot of things that Giants could do to make their game better, which we all know, but whether they actually implement it or not, who's to say? The only thing I think is in our favour and in their favour is the fact that they did the graphical update, like it or loathe it, for 19, but for 21 you can probably safely assume there won't be much in the way of graphical changes. So hopefully 21 will be more a change to the farming itself, equipment, production, all that sort of stuff, more so than technical changes to the game engine, all that sort of stuff. Obviously there'll still be little tweaks and things like that, like you expect the UI to be changed and things like that possibly, but I think we're probably quite safe in sort of assuming that the big graphical update was in 19, and it's probably not so likely to be the core aspect of Farming Simulator 21 going forward. That being said, though, who knows? I mean, who knows? As long as they don't release the game in the same state they did this time, they should be okay. But I do know there's a lot of people, and I'm saying a lot of people that I've spoken to, and they're in agreement that they're not going to be pre-ordering the next version of Farming Simulator, and they will wait until the game is stable and a lot of the bugs and all that are out of it, because they've been bitten, and they don't, once bitten twice shy, as the saying goes. And I'm even in the same boat. I'm not so sure that I'm going to jump straight in and pre-order and all that sort of stuff. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. One can only hope they've learnt their lesson. But I mean, on the flip side, they probably, I don't know, they probably haven't. I mean, this is where there comes problems. Well, it's not problems. It depends on what they're listening to. Like, if they're listening to their fan base that blows wind up their proverbial no matter what, and as we finish that field, and they just want to listen to that, and they think everything's all rosy, and like they listen to all their partners, their YouTube partners, all that sort of stuff that are promoting their game, who, whether they be forced to in writing or by contract to not say anything negative or anything else about the game or the publisher, whether or not that's actually in there, they'd be loath to actually go out on a limb and actually say it, because obviously it's going to affect their chances of getting stuff off that publisher or that developer. So that's one of the things, and hopefully they're not just listening to that. Hopefully they are listening to those that have, I mean, like we tried to point out where we think they've gone wrong. I mean, look, I'm only a very small tuber. I'm no one extraordinary. What we're going to do, we're going to put, I'm actually just going to plant this with some wheat, I think. Yeah, we're not a big YouTuber by any means, but I'm not the only person that's thinking the way that I was thinking and what I espoused in the State of the Game video. So if it was just a minority and just me, well, that's fine. You'd probably expect, oh, well, he's one off, sour, grape, whatever else. There's a lot of people that thought the same. A lot of people had bad experiences, and those people are the ones that are going to drive the sales and all that sort of stuff, and pass the word of mouth. Now, I mean, I understand someone who's actually been given copies of the game or is licensed to actually come and do stuff for them or whatever else. They get their trips to go to wherever they're holding farming simulator leagues, all that sort of stuff. They're not going to be wanting to make a mess of their own meal, so to speak. So I get that. But if they're the only people that companies like Giants listen to in relation to their game release and stuff like that, then they're going to be in trouble, because they're never actually going to find out what the majority really want, or those that actually will just espouse and comment on what they really think. Look, I'm saying I'm the be all and end all, certainly far from it, but one thing I always try to do is it's basically black and white. I'll tell you how it is or how I think, and that's it. There is no grey. The only grey there is paint on the side of a warship, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah. So anyway, we'll have to wait and see. But hopefully Giants has taken in a lot of the feedback that was given from the release of the game all the way through to still now, and they'll make sure they don't make the same mistakes, and they make the improvements for Farming Simulator 21. Alright, so one field seeded. This is going to be the second field done, and then that's our two big fields seeded, ready to go. So then that's most of the worry of work out of the way. The next thing we need to worry about is the sheep and all that sort of stuff in the other small field. So what we're going to do is we'll continue on. We'll finish seeding this off camera, because we're now at the 27-minute mark. Yet again, I go into a mini rant and lose track of time. But we'll continue to finish this field off, get this one all prepped, and then we'll start looking at what we're going to do next, which is, like I said, including setting up the sheep, all that sort of stuff. But depending on when we come back, we may well also be looking at getting some changing out of some equipment as well. So I look forward to that, and I hope you do too. Thanks very much for joining us. I'd like to say another big shout out to all our patrons that help support the channel. Thankfully, people like DJ, Grizzly Bear Sims, JJ, Feed Guy, Branko, DC Dave, who else is there? There's a couple of others. Pass on over their hard-earned cash to assist me in the channel, and hopefully soon, over the next month or two, we'll have enough to replace our steering wheel, which is basically giving up the ghost. But that's basically the next thing I really need to do. But the second-hand steering wheel died. But I'd like to sincerely thank those guys for supporting the channel, and I'd like to thank the other guys like AP and others that supported the channel for a period of time. None of you, whether you do one payment or continue or whatever else, will be thought of any lesser than any other. So thank you very much. But yeah, that's it. So thanks again to them. Thanks again to all of you for watching. We are still on our road to 1,000 subs. We've got about 20 subs to go. So if you've got friends, family, mates that you think may be interested in my channel and my content, then please share and let them know. Ask them to come on and sub, and that would be a wonderful thing for you to do, for me and for you, so I can get more stuff out. All right, but anyway, until next time, this is Duck Sorley wishing you all a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, or night, no matter where you are in the world. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and we'll see you again very, very soon back here on Willamina Forest, and of course, Duck Sorley Gaming. See you all later. Bye.